This is a diesel heater, and this is also a diesel heater. Let's discuss some of the differences between these two models and find out which one might be right for you. Welcome back, Mumphy Mafia. In today's video, we're going to be looking over a couple of popular diesel heater options that you may find out on Amazon. Now, links will be in the description for both of these units. But first, let's go ahead and go over what I'm going to consider the PC build, and then we'll get into this little briefcase version. I'm calling this kind of the PC tower looking version. Obviously, because it looks a little bit kind of like a gaming PC. It does stand vertically tall, and the measurements for this particular one are 19 inches by 19 inches by almost 9 inches wide. Now, the features of this is that you have the diesel heater, which is featured right here on the bottom portion of the setup, and then on top you actually have your gas tank. And here you do have your lid for your diesel fuel. On the front, you do have your LED controller, and then this is the actual blower. This is where the hot air will come out. Now, as we flip this thing around, you'll see we do have the air intake, and then your power will need a little bit of adjustment if you decide to go down this model. The other nice thing is you have a couple of slots on the side that will show you your fuel levels, just in case you need to top this off. This is from Hcalory. There are plenty of other different brands that make a similar model to this. Some of the top brands are the Hcalory and Vivor, if you are looking at picking up this kind of diesel heater. This particular one is a 5 to 8 kilowatt power that is run off 12 volts. And that's what most diesel heaters are actually going to run, is off of 12 volts. Some of the accessories that come along with this, so that way you set it up correctly, is you're going to get your exhaust venting tube. You're going to get a bunch of hardware that includes hose clamps and some other screws and bolts. You're going to get your air intake, and you will also get an air filter end piece. You're also going to get this very short, probably not useful exhaust vent that's going to push out the hot air. Most of us in the overland community are going to probably be throwing this away and getting a dryer vent style tubing that will actually reach from wherever you set this up into your tent. But if you are just going to use this for, say, your garage or your shed, this will actually work. It's nice because it is flexible. It will retain its shape. And you do have a little bit of stretch to it. Now, this particular unit also comes with a set of plastic foot stands. This is to help elevate this unit up off the ground, so that way you have a little bit more room when running your air intake and exhaust tubes, which are actually found underneath and on the bottom of the unit. It also comes with a little remote control, so that way if you're up in your tent, you don't have to get out to power it on, power it off, and adjust the temperature. And it does have a nice little sliding door here, so that way you're not accidentally bumping the buttons. This particular unit also has an added feature, which is that this controller here is also Bluetooth enabled. There is an app that you can download for your phone in which you can adjust the temperature and have full control over this particular unit. I have not had a chance to test this out just yet, but I am looking forward to doing that here in the future. So, some of the pros and cons of this particular unit. Some of the pros is that it does give you a nice, narrow, small form feature. It has very good grab handles here up at the top. You can clearly see where your fuel levels are. It gives you added height for when you run your in and outtakes. It also does come with a muffler to help keep the exhaust noise down, and it gives you kind of this little air filter. All right, some of my concerns about this particular unit when you order it from Amazon is actually going to be this little air filter, if you can even call it that. All this is a little plastic tube with some slots cut into it with a little bit of mesh material around it. I'm not overly confident with this particular air filter, if you can even call it that. Most of the kits that I see out there are going to come with this much more substantial air filter that has a soft foam inside and is much larger, as you can see here. One thing to keep in mind is if you are going to purchase this particular unit, you may need to purchase an additional parts kit that runs about 20 bucks, but you will get a more substantial air filter than this. I have more confidence in this air filter than I do this one. Now there are other form factors that you can get with this. It comes in a couple of different colors. This one is just red with kind of a mock carbon fiber look. They do have an all black version. There's also more of a squatty rectangular one that you can look at getting. And the other thing is that they do make these without the Bluetooth app connection as well for a little bit less. And that's going to cover kind of this particular model of diesel heater. Let's move on to the other version. All right, now as you can see here, I do have the Hcalory briefcase version of the diesel heater. Now some of you may have seen some videos out there of people putting diesel heaters into Pelican cases or other style cases such as Harbor Freight in order to create this particular look. I have seen some of them go as high as $600. For most of us that are a little bit more budget friendly, this might be a particularly good option. This is a little over $200. Link in the description box below if you are interested in this particular setup. I like this compact little case here. Everything kind of fits all together right here. On this side you do have your LED controller. As you can see, it does come with a remote. You have your fuel intake. You have your air intake. This is actually the air return into the diesel heater. And as we move this on over to the back side, you can see here is the hot air outlet, and then you have your exhaust. As we take a look, you can see some venting through the plastic case that's actually on both sides here. And the nice thing with this is it also comes with its own gas canister. Now you can use this to mount to the back side of the unit, and then you fill this up. This is going to require a little bit of setup inside. You can hear that it does come with all the hardware you're going to need in order to drill your own hole and run your fuel line to the fuel inlet, which is right here. Now this particular briefcase model of diesel heater comes in at 20 inches by 18 by 6 inches wide. And as we open this up, you can see the inner workings or the inner setup of how this particular model is set up. This is the HCA1, and once again, as we pull out the items, you do have your exhaust pipe, you do have your hot air vent hose, and this does come with a cap for that particular hose, so that way you can set it up. Air filter hose. Now this one does come wired up, so you do have a plug for power, and then this actually comes with some ring eyelets so you can hook this directly into a battery. You also have some extra fuel hose that you can run from the fuel tank into the fuel inlet. And then you also have some additional hardware. And you also have a muffler. Everything else inside is fairly clean and straightforward. You do have your exhaust tube in here wrapped and insulated, along with your air inlet hose. And then of course you have your main unit here. Now, as far as the case construction goes, it's a fairly decent plastic material. It's not going to be your harder composite like a Pelican case, but for what this unit is meant to do, it will hold up fairly nicely. I do like the setup of this particular diesel heater, as it is a bit more of a kind of a grab and go setup, where the other one is not necessarily protected from all the elements, where this one does kind of have a little bit more protection with this plastic case. Now, much like the other version that I have, this particular control unit is also Bluetooth compatible. You can also get this without the Bluetooth feature for a little bit less, but you're still going to get the remote that comes with it. And I'm looking forward to testing this particular version out as well. Now, that kind of wraps up some of the differences between these two particular ones. Obviously, apart from the looks and setup, this one here is a 5 kilowatt, where this one is a 5 to 8 kilowatt as far as power is concerned. But you can see some of the similarities and differences between the two. I'm curious to know which one interests you, and I will be setting up both of these to kind of see and test some of their performances, and I will bring you guys along in a future video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, leave a comment down below letting me know which version kind of appeals to you and maybe your setup. Perhaps you don't even need one. You're just set up for winter camping already with a nice 0-degree sleeping bag. I don't know. With some of the winter weather that we have here in Utah, one of these would definitely make winter camping just a little bit more comfortable. Well, Mumphy Mafia, that's going to wrap it up for this video on the diesel heaters. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Also, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I'm looking forward to testing out both of these for you guys. And with that, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.